You're obviously a very competitive person. You're competing with the likes of Jeff Bezos in...
Jeff who?
Everyone in this room is inspired by you. Who are you inspired by?
Well, Kanye West, obviously. So what do you say?
A few years ago, people were laughing at you. Now, not so much. I mean...
Okay. And Ford gave us a call and said they were going to sue us for using Model E. And we're like, okay, like Ford's killing sex. I mean, that's terrible. Here we are on top of our giant bowl of liquid oxygen. They say SpaceX has big balls, and it's true.
We were first talking about the concept. You know, tunnels feel like a resolutely old school solution to a problem.
I'm sad that I invented tunnels.
Are you now like, fuck no, I am not starting another company? Are you still thinking that?
Yes, that's how I feel. That is.
That picture at the end is a picture of one of the circuit boards inside the Roadster, right?
We try to confuse the aliens as much as possible.
It's like Elon Musk has been beamed down from another planet to show us mortals how to run a company.
Not true.
And he's a designer, so he's good at sort of the styling of the cars, but he thinks it's all about styling, and it's not. You know, it's really, this is, you know, the reason we don't have electric cars is not for lack of styling.
Right.
We saw the movie. We
Yeah.
saw what happened. He got back.
Yeah, yeah. So it was good. I actually enjoyed the movie. So.
Do you think he could have gotten back like that? Was that plausible?
Well, I thought there was some, connection. It was like 80% scientifically correct.
Okay.
But there did connect a series of improbable events.
Such as?
Say. Well, I mean, I don't think you can sort of just take off from Mars on an unguided rocket, really, and then prick your finger on the spacesuit and navigate to a spaceship. Right? Yeah. Not impossible, just extremely unlikely.
What is this? The largest rocket, the largest building? I mean...
Well, I mean, I think it's not scale for scale's sake. It's just like if you say, well, we want to accomplish these goals, then you kind of have to make a big thing. So,
okay.
Do you think there is other intelligent life outside the Earth?
It seems probable, but I think this is one of the great questions in physics and philosophy, is where are the aliens? Maybe they're among us, I don't know. Some people think I'm an alien. Not true. Not true.
But maybe we are aliens.
Of course I'd say that,
maybe
wouldn't
we
I?
are aliens.
We went on a date. All I was talking about was electric cars. That was not a winning conversation.
So it was a bit of a monologue, was it?
Yeah, she said she said the first question I asked her was, "Do you ever think about electric cars?" She said, no, she never does.
So you learn from that. That wasn't the best stand-up line.
Wasn't great. But it has recently it's been more effective.
Well, I think any natural resource extraction on Mars would be the output would be for Mars. Like, it definitely wouldn't make sense to transport stuff 200 million miles back to Earth. Honestly, like if you had like crack cocaine on Mars, like in pre-packaged, pallets, it still wouldn't make sense to transport it back here. Maybe good times for the Martians, but not back here. It'd be kind of weird if the aliens landed in the ocean with parachutes and be like, okay, nothing to fear.
To be clear, I don't want to die on Mars. If you're going to pick some place to die, then why not Mars? And if I do die on Mars, I just don't want it to be on impact. Something that happens over 30 or 40 years, the transition to electric vehicles. Ultimately, we will have to have some kind of universal basic income. There will be fewer and fewer jobs that a robot cannot do better. So with automation, almost everything will get very cheap. Take that approach of you're always to some degree wrong, and your goal is to be less wrong. Not as much fun being me as you'd think. I don't know.
You don't think so?
No. There's definitely, it could be worse for sure, but it's, I'm not sure I want to be me. Some people think I'm an alien.
Didn't you say to me earlier in this conversation, we don't want to do business with jerks?
who does?
Right. Well, so I'm wondering, well, in my business, sadly, it's occasionally necessary.
Much unfortunate. I think the reality of being president is that you're actually like the captain of a very huge ship and have a small rudder.
Stock price down again today, 10%. Do you care about that?
I mean, it kind of sucks running a public company. Pot, tobacco, pause.
You never had that?
Yeah, I think I tried one once.
Come on, man. You want some of it? You probably can't because stockholders, right?
I mean, it's legal, right?
It's totally legal.
Okay.
How does that work? Do people get upset at you if you do certain things? There's tobacco and marijuana in there. That's all it is. The combination of tobacco and marijuana is wonderful.
You and I will walk the by on by.
Well, this is really winning.
The boost stage, which is about 70% of the cost of the rocket. So
Which cost is that? How much is that?
well, I mean, it's sort of on the order of $30 to $35 million.
Right, so you want to save that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I tell my team, it's like, imagine there was a pallet of cash that was plummeting through the atmosphere, and it was going to burn up and smash into tiny pieces. Would you try to save it?
Right.
Probably yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
We're going to need some volunteers to be colonists. Do we have any colonist volunteers here for Mars?
Actually, not many hands raised, by the way.
There was some recent article about how I'm such a great marketer. And like, I say the stupidest things that can't possibly be true. My issue is that I don't have a filter, not that I have too much of a filter.
Why are you laughing that you just wrecked this car? And you said, no, you don't know the funny part. It wasn't insured.
Well, the punchline's correct. I'm probably number one on the list of famous last words. I said, watch this. Okay. Oh, Jesus, sorry. Speaking of mishaps, I just stabbed you. Crazy car to have as a daily driver, particularly on the 405.
So, but I understand when you got it,
Yeah.
you're driving down 280, and you wrecked it.
No, well.
And let me just tell the story, and then you can correct
all
it. Because the story's great, and I hope it's
yeah,
true.
let's see if the story that you tell is actually, how that compares to the reality, because the reality is pretty messed up.
So, hopefully the reality's better. So you wreck the car, you get out of the car, you're doubling over with laughter. And the person with you said, why are you laughing that you just wrecked this car? And you said, no, you don't know the funny part. It wasn't insured.
Well, the punchline's correct.
How do you plan a business where you know, the rocket business, you know some of these things are going to blow up on the launch pad? How does the business plan work?
I don't really have a business plan.
The plane thing is not a good idea in my view. The plane, and the reason I think is, like, intuitively it seems like a plane should work, but actually if you consider that really every mode of transport has a design that is appropriate to its medium. And if you're in space, wings are not very useful because there's no air. And then if you want to go somewhere other than Earth, there's also no runways. So these are important considerations.
Going back to Mars, what kind of government do you envision for the first Martian colony?
We have to be careful
and what's your title?
Yeah, exactly. Emperor or God Emperor? I don't know. It might be too much. I don't know. You have to watch my jokes here. Not everyone gets irony. You know, must remember.
What would be your mediocre superpower? Now, this is absurd to ask you because Tony Stark is partially modeled after you.
Right.
So you actually are sort of have real. So we were asking you to
He doesn't
downgrade.
technically have a superpower. He, I guess, except like inventing technology or something.
Right. So we're sort of asking you to downgrade from that a bit. So an example of a mediocre superpower would be one of the best ones we've ever gotten is this guy who wished to temporarily detach his arm while spooning with a girl. Sometimes it's staying.
That's what he wants to do with a girl?
That's awesome.
But how? I mean, on a regular day for you, are you sleeping? You're not sleeping a lot, right?
What? Geez, do I look that bad?
Yeah. Actually met a woman I dated briefly in college who now works at Scientific American as a writer, and she related the anecdote that we went on a date. All I was talking about was electric cars. That was not a winning conversation.
So it was a bit of a monologue, was it?
Yeah, she said she said the first question I asked her was, "Do you ever think about electric cars?" She said, "No." She never does.
So you learn from that. That wasn't the best shut-up line.
Wasn't great.
That's
But
great.
it has recently it's been more effective.
There you go. I know this man.
And we're funding the company for merchandise sales. So thank you for anyone who's bought our flamethrower. You will not be sorry, or maybe you will. It won't be boring.
Come with me where moonbirds hit the sky.